I'm loser maxing, and I'm going to tell you the truths most women will never admit to. Finally! Finally! Sound the alarm, boys! Fucking finally! We have a Kira Lotan type figure on BP YouTube. Her name is Aria, and her channel is called Abandon All Cope, Ye Who Enter Here. And where to start? I mean, I was just thinking the other day, and I can only speak for myself, but I was just relaxing the other day, listening to some old Rehab Room videos, and I was thinking, you know, Rehab Room he's a pretty smart guy, and there's a lot of value in what he says in his videos. But I don't know, it's like it just feels like something's missing. And then it hit me. What I really need, and what I think a lot of us in the BP space need, is we need an attractive young woman to give her perspective on things. I think that's exactly what's been missing. Okay, but seriously, this Aria chick, she says she's inspired by Rehab Room, and she just wants to try to help men by telling us all the things that most women would never admit to. She has sympathy for all of us sub fives and how everyone in society has been gaslighting us our whole lives. And so she just wants to help. And I mean, golly, this content sure is helpful. Like her video, The Truth About Height, where she essentially spends 20 minutes gushing over Formula One chads. And she even created a hunk slideshow for all of us to follow along with her as she gives her thoughts. I didn't mean to say thought twice. I guess I stuttered. I apologize. Anyways, yeah, so she actually made a slideshow of hot chads for us to look at while she tells us all about how hot she thinks they are. And I mean, right on. Right on, Aria. Thank you. You know, I've been having a tough time lately and I've really been feeling kind of hopeless, to be honest. And just listening to an attractive, exotical young woman like Aria just explaining the specifics of how she would, quote, fold instantly for a hot, wealthy Formula One driver, even though he's only 5'11. I mean, that is just the pick me up I needed. So thank you so much, Aria, for your help. Faith in humanity restored. I don't know what would possess a young woman to make content like this. I mean, you could say she's grifting, just repeating BP talking points because she knows simps will eat it up, like in the same way she wants to eat Austin Wayne's
personality.
But I don't think that's it. And I'm not joking either. I really don't think that she is grifting. I think she actually does believe that she is providing value with her content. She really believes that she is helping men with this content. And if you've ever listened to any of her videos, then you're probably wondering how in the hell she could possibly think that anything she's saying is actually helpful to lonely men. But she really does think that she's helping. And it all makes sense once you realize this one thing about Aria. She is a narcissist.
My name is Aria, and I'm an attractive woman. When I walk into anywhere, everyone turns and looks at me. So, introverted, intelligent, and very pretty. Contrary to popular belief, this is a social death sentence.
She's only published like 8 videos so far, I think, but there's more than enough information there to paint a clear picture of who she is. For one thing, she is constantly bragging, and here's an experiment you can try for yourself. Go pick any one of her videos at random, and then pick a random spot in the middle of the video, and click the play button, and just see how long it takes before you hear her bragging in some way. Chances are you won't have to wait any longer than 30 seconds before you hear her saying something about how she literally gets stared at everywhere she goes, or about how she doesn't have any female friends because all women are jealous of her. Oh yeah, and that's something else about this girl. She's one of those, I only have guy friends because girls are too much drama. She's one of those types of girls. Also, she has a septum piercing. I mean, she's actually like every possible red flag all rolled into one. She only has male friends, septum piercing, narcissistic, thinks she provides a valuable perspective on topics she could not possibly be less qualified to speak on, like male loneliness. And she not only openly dates multiple men at the same time, she made an entire video explaining how roster dating, as she calls it, is actually the morally right thing to do. So she made this video called Attractive Men Should Have a Roster. And Lord have mercy! This video is a doozy. She starts off the video by saying that this video is for the average and attractive men in her audience. And the premise of this video is basically that everybody should be dating multiple partners at the same time, for a variety of reasons. One of those reasons being that having multiple girlfriends will prevent you from getting too upset about any particular one of them when they disappoint you. You know, it's like the abundance mindset and all that. And another reason she says that men should be dating a roster of women is because in order to build a roster, you'll have to be approaching lots of women, so you'll just get better at talking to women. And let's see, what else? I don't know, who cares? None of this makes any sense anyways. And by the way, this video is set to a slideshow of handsome hunks embracing girls that wouldn't even spit on you or me if we were on fire. So that's nice. That's always nice to see. I really appreciate that artistic touch. And yeah, she says this advice is for average to good-looking men. So that right there shows just how out of touch she is. She actually thinks average-looking men can date a roster of women. She is so out of touch. She actually thinks an average-looking man could manage to date a roster of girls at the same time. She claims that she's intelligent. Yes, she literally says in one of her videos that she is intelligent. Yet, she's doing something that is a hallmark of non-intelligence, which is that she's assuming her life experience is the same for everyone else.
If you are unable to take a step back, look at things objectively outside of your limited perspective, and admit to your own biases and hypocrisies, you're coping.
Part of the whole BP philosophy is that dating is harder for men than it is for women. You know, she can easily date a roster of men because, duh, women don't have to try to find men to date. They don't have to put in any effort to date men. Men just come to them. And all the men she dates probably all date rosters of women because also, duh, she only dates Chads. She literally can't even comprehend what life is like for regular men. An average-looking man is not going to be able to date a roster of women. Not even almost. I mean, who is this advice really for? Because if you think about it, if a man is capable of dating a roster of girls, then he already knows that. And he's probably already doing that. And he doesn't need you to tell him that he should be doing it. He's already doing it. And he doesn't need any advice about it. He's literally, a man in that situation is living life at the finish line. He's dating multiple girls at the same time. That is the finish line. That's the dream. You're trying to give advice to a man that's already on the tippy top of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. What does he need with your advice? He's a fucking coach, Aria. You're just on the roster. But the worst part about this video, she actually says that dating a roster of men is the right thing for a woman to do. She argues that dating multiple people at the same time is the best way for someone to become a good partner for their eventual spouse. And that goes for women too. Because, the one quality that all men desire when thinking about their future wife, we all want a woman that's just been used up and run through by a fucking roster of other men before us. I mean, the most important trait I want my future wife to have is confidence. And how could a woman be confident if she hasn't dated at least 100 other guys? But you know what? Actually, I shouldn't be so quick to judge. I mean, in Aria's case, it's not like she's sleeping with all these men. She's not sleeping with every man on her roster. She does say that she will make out with multiple men and she'll cuddle with multiple men on her roster. But that's okay, because, it's not like she's sleeping with them or something.
I will hold hands, hug, kiss, make out, cuddle, or whatever if I feel comfortable and it gets to that point. But I will not, under any circumstances, sleep with them unless it's decided we both cut off our rosters and enter an exclusive relationship.
Aria, listen. I know this can be hard to understand from your perspective as a hot girl, but men don't actually see any difference between a girl that makes out with lots of guys and a girl that sleeps with lots of guys. From our perspective, that's the same damn thing. It is exactly the same. I'm sure you think you're being chaste and conservative, but if you've made out with a man, like you put your lips against his lips for a prolonged period of time, your tongue touched his tongue, then you've basically slept with him. Same difference. I don't know why you think there's some big difference there, but there's not. There really isn't. From the male perspective, and by the way, all the so-called secure men that date rosters of women, they agree with this too, by the way, whether they admit that to you or not. But from the male perspective, if a woman was literally a virgin, but she's made out with like 20 plus men, then she is for the streets. Period. I'm talking about she is run through. And in part of the video, she talks about how men need to roster date because that's what a man needs to do to get rid of all his insecurities, so he won't be insecure and accuse his girl of cheating and all that. But, call me crazy, but maybe, and again, maybe I'm the one that's out of line in thinking this, but maybe a man should be insecure about his woman cheating on him if she was openly dating 7 other men at the same time. And I don't care if you stop dating everyone else on your roster when you make it official with one man. That's a useless distinction. If you are going on dates with someone and you spend a lot of time together and you even kiss each other, then that is your romantic partner. Aria, listen. If you date a man and make out with him and cuddle with him, then he is your boyfriend and you are his girlfriend. Full stop. That's what those words mean. And if you're doing that with multiple men simultaneously, then guess what? You have multiple boyfriends. Making it official with a man is a meaningless distinction. I don't know why you would expect a man to ever feel secure in a relationship with you if he knows that you date multiple men at the same time. Just because you tell him you're gonna stop dating all the other guys, he still knows what you're capable of. If he knows that you think that it's okay for you to date multiple men at the same time, why would he believe you just because you say you're gonna stop? He'd be a fool to believe that. Actions speak louder than words. And I mean, I mentioned this earlier, but she talks about the idea of how dating a roster allows you to not put all your eggs in one basket, so to speak. You know, if you're dating multiple people, then you're not going to worry too much when one of them upsets you. Your emotional connection is spread out. You aren't all in on one person. And she mentioned this as one of the benefits men get when dating a roster of women, but let's look at the reverse of that. Aria, do you actually understand what men value in a woman? Loyalty is probably the number one most important thing, personality-wise, that men want their woman to have. We want you to have all your eggs in one basket, and we want to be the basket. This shit is the downfall of society. I swear to God. Roster dating is disgusting. It's wrong. It's morally wrong. You will never, and I mean this, Aria, you will never have a meaningful relationship with a man if this is your philosophy. If this is how you treat men like they're disposable. And it's fucking disgusting. And this may come as a surprise to you, but I don't think men should be dating like that either. Have some damn morals. It's not okay to treat people like that. You do understand what the B in BP stands for, right? It's B for black, P for pill. It's not the BOP pill. That's not what it stands for. And what makes this even crazier is she even talks about in one of her videos how she thinks red pill gurus like Andrew Tate and Fresh and Fit, like they're just so horrible and how their advice is just awful. And yet here she is giving the same exact red pill advice that any one of them would give about dating. You know, just date 10 women at the same time, bro. Just a complete and total lack of self-awareness. It's truly incredible. Aria, I know you say that you're doing this, you made your channel, you're making your videos because you want to help all the lonely men that have been struggling, that have been gaslit by society their whole lives. You want to help these men. But I'm just going to tell you right now, you can't help all of us. And these videos you're making, these aren't helping. These aren't helping anybody. But you can help some men. You can help at least one man, probably. And you can easily find men, lonely men, that need help. And I don't even have to say what it is. You know what I'm talking about. You know what it is that you can do to help these men. Okay? So if you want to help a lonely man in real life, log off of YouTube, get off the internet, go help a lonely man. Help him out. You can do that. Okay? If you want to use your unique advantage as an attractive, exotical woman to help lonely men, you can do that. Okay? And you know how. So I'll just leave it at that.